Hello, Nancy here. Today I want to show you how to do a faux Kitchener graft on sock toes or anything else that really requires a Kitchener graft. And sometimes it's referred to as a sock puppet, but I want to show you how it's done. It's one of these things, if you look closely at this, it looks just like a Kitchener graft, and that it isn't. I have done this in the manner I'm about to teach you, which is called a faux Kitchener graft. Okay, and I'm doing this in particular for my friend I've never met, someone through knitting, and a mutual friend, and it's Beth in Washington, D.C., and I have a feeling she's not a big fan of Kitchener graft, but she's a big fan of knitting socks. What I've done is I've made this swatch. We're going to pretend that the magenta is the sock. And rather than doing a graft at the end of the toe, I went and knit up on waste yarn for, enough rows that I can actually hold on to this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this inside, and now you're going to see where it comes up with the name sock puppet. Now, you may be watching this and saying, why in the world would I go through all of this if I could just graft them? And it's kind of like raising children. You choose your battles. And if it's for 12 stitches or whatnot and it makes you crazy, then by all means, I would suggest doing this method. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our threaded needle, our yarn, and now typically, of course, I would be doing this in the magenta, but for the purpose of showing you how I'm doing this, I have instead gone with a lighter yarn so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I want you to remember points to points, okay? Point to point. So we're going to begin where the points come together. And actually, this is an upside down stitch. Do you see this? That is an upside down stitch. If I flipped it over, you could see it's a whole stitch. Okay, I'm going to bring it up really close to the camera, so I hope it's not annoying. So we're going to go under that. And then we're going to go over to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing, except remember I said point to point? The point is coming down towards the center. So we're going to go under that. Just as you would do a Kitchener graft, you do not want to make this too tight. It's always easier to tighten them as opposed to loosening them. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go under this side, and I'm trying not to catch the yarn that I use, the auxiliary yarn, to knit up. Okay, here we go. We're going to go point to point. And it really does a nice job. Again, like I said, is if you hate doing Kitchener graft, and you're not alone, there's a lot of people that do. You always have alternatives. Okay, now if you have a keen eye, you're going to notice something here. What have I just done? I have created 2 knit stitches, right? Pretty cool, right? I know. I hear you. Okay, so here we go. It doesn't matter where you start. Obviously, I started in the middle. It really won't matter. You're going to end up connecting every stitch. See, and I did pull that a little tight, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to get them too tight. I want them to match the knit stitch. I want them to look the same. Okay, so we're going to go under this. Point to point. I can't stress that enough. And somebody taught me this years ago. So anybody who wants to send out yes, Nancy, you're brilliant. I'm not. Okay. All right, so we're going to go under here. Okay, all right, we got that one. And then we're going to reach over here, and I can see the spot right there. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to make sure you can always tighten. Remember that. It's a whole different ball game if you want to loosen. So I'm going to make sure everybody is loosened. I can go back and tighten these. I can't stress that enough. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip it over, and this end I left on the other side, I'm just going to thread it through my darning needle. Just bear with me here. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth your time. Okay, so now we're going to go under. You see this? Points. Okay. And then we're going to go over here. Point. I remember many, many years ago somebody showing me this. I was like, oh, I thought I saw a magician. It's like, wow, this is so cool. Okay, so then we're going to go point to point. Okay, so then we're going to reach over, and you can see this one has not been caught. So we're going to go right into here. Okay. All right. So let's make sure everybody is loose enough. I guess that's really my concern right now. So I'm going to loosen them up a little bit. And you would do the same thing. Again, this isn't for everyone, but you have to ask yourself, how much do you hate doing a Kitchener graft? And if you hate it a lot, I had someone that I was teaching oh my goodness, I can't think of the name of it. It was a cottage green, the wonderful wallaby. That's what it was. And the hood. And it made her crazy. And I showed her this, and you would have thought that I gave her, well, the key to the Emerald City. I mean, she was just thrilled. Okay, so I'm feeling pretty confident about this. So now what I'm going to do, see this? There's your row of knitting. Now, if everything went correctly here, and I'm not always promising that because, after all, I am doing this on camera, and things sometimes go, with my best intentions, sometimes things go wrong. Okay. All right. So you see what I'm doing? I'm unraveling what I knit up on. Okay. And, of course, what did I do? You see this here? I snagged some of my yarn. So, and that's going to happen to you. Okay, that's all right. Okay, all right. And there we go. Okay, so now we're going to turn this around. Okay. Now you have to pretend, if you will, that this is all the same color. And you can tweak it here and tweak it there and make it look a little nicer. Right? You would want to just make sure everybody's kind of loosened up in the right spot. But everybody is caught. It matches the other stitches, so it is the same size. Is that not totally cool or what? I know, it is. You don't have to say it. I know it is. But anyways, that is the Faux Kitchener Graft. And again, if you hate doing Kitchener, it's worth doing a couple inches of yarn, knitting up on waste yarn, just so you can avoid doing that. So I hope this helped you out. Give it a try, and you might like it. But it's worth your time, I think. So thanks for watching. Bye now.